So, hi Patrick, it's great to have you here with us at Fortune India. And you've completed nearly a year at the helm today for IKEA. And I mean, how has the journey been, and has it changed or challenged you in any way?
It's been, first of all, a very fantastic year, super exciting. As you know, I've been living in India before for 5 years and just came back a year ago. So it's been an experience where there has been quite a lot that I've known, which is making it feel familiar and safe. At the same time, so much have changed. So it's still exciting and new and many things to do. So it's been a fabulous first year.
So, we're sitting in your new city store in DLF Avenue, and this is the second store for Delhi NCR, right? So, I mean, how excited are you, and what makes you confident that this region will become a key growth driver for IKEA?
So the excitement of opening a new IKEA store is always there. Every time it has happened throughout my career, it's a specific feeling. Everybody in the team works towards specific date of opening, and that comradeship and team build is fantastic. So tomorrow is the day where we're going to open, so super excited. Delhi as such is a very, very important market for us. We have just a year back opened it for online, and then we opened in Pacific Mall about a year back also. So it's new in a way for us, but it's probably the most important together with Bangalore. That are the big, big drivers of the future for IKEA in India. This is only the second store. We are building two mixed-use developments outside in Gurgaon and one in Noida that both will bring full-size IKEA stores to Delhi. They are coming up also in a year and a half to 2.5 years, and more and more will come to Delhi.
Okay, so what's your mindset about a city store? They are very different from your large store format. So why do you have a city store for Delhi, and how many more are you expecting?
So the city store is an accessibility, so it brings IKEA much closer to you. Traditionally, IKEA build large stores, but the consumer behavior has changed dramatically over the past 10-15 years with the introduction of e-commerce and now quick commerce and all these things. So the consumers are behaving differently. We need to come closer to them. And the city stores is really the answer to that question. So how do we come closer? And they fit very well into shopping malls, which are destinations today for every Indian that they go out shopping maybe, but you also go out with friends just to be here, or you go out and eat. And if we can be in that environment and really accessible, of course, it's good for us.
So, as you mentioned, you have larger format stores coming in Noida and Gurgaon. So what really is the timeline around that, and what are your expectations from both those stores, and how it will contribute to IKEA's journey in India?
So both of these are IKEA stores located in our shopping centers. So IKEA is building a shopping center with about 200 other stores, as well as a large-sized IKEA store as an anchor. And on top of that, there will be offices, and in Noida's case, also a hotel. So it's big mixed-use developments, both located directly on the metro station, so you can walk from the metro station into the stores. This, of course, gives us a fantastic opportunity to meet more of the many people, and especially, I think, Gurgaon and Noida, where there's so much construction going on today, they will be very good complements to that development.
So what is the timeline that you're expecting?
So the Gurgaon one should be up at end of 2027, and Noida end 2028. So a little bit more to wait, but a lot to wait for. And we are, of course, working hard to make that happen. And every day, if you're out in Gurgaon, you will see how it comes up bigger and bigger. Noida is now starting to really come up out of the ground. So good progress.
Okay. So you have other large format stores in Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Navi Mumbai. So are there any learnings that you have taken from those areas to bring to this region, or do you keep it very, very, separate?
I think learnings we have throughout time, so to speak, that we have moved from only having big stores to now a multitude of formats. So it can be still a large store like in Noida and Gurgaon. It could be what we call a mid-sized store, which is about 70,000 square feet, which is still a very, very big store. Or it's a city center store with 2,500 square meters, that's 25,000 square feet. So different formats fits different areas. So the learnings, one is the size. Two is the shopping behavior and what consumers need, because we have studied so many homes over the past 10-15 years being in India, how people live, what are their needs. So I think we have improved more inside maybe than the formats themselves. So when you come to an IKEA store today, I believe you feel, wow, this is really relevant. This is me. These are the problems I have in my everyday life at home, which we then have learned over time. So we reach out, we meet people, we do home visits, and then we implement these solutions in our stores. So customers feel, this is what I want to have here.
So India is still a relatively young market for you. I mean, are there more strategies that you have in place to penetrate deeper or expand wider? What exactly is the rationale?
So IKEA have been in India now for about 8 years. So yeah, a very young market, but the potential in India that we see is very, very large. We have a large population, young population, lots of migration into the cities, economical development. So the needs for home furnishing and life at home will be very big over the coming years. And we, of course, want to be the partner for India in that area. The strategies taking this on, I think expansion plans are focused still around Delhi, around Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Chennai, and Pune. This is where we really want to go deeper. So it's more deepening our presence, creating more brand awareness, being more close to the many people in these markets, rather than going everywhere. So the focus will be there. However, we're of course looking at cities like Jaipur, Chandigarh, maybe Lucknow to complement the business, but the focus will be on the big markets.
Okay. So, you were in India for 5 years before and then now you've returned. So, what has really surprised you in terms of what has changed and where do you see it headed?
I think real estate development, of course, when you come to Gurgaon or New Gurgaon, the amount of houses that are there today that weren't there before. Noida is developing amazingly. If I go to Pune, the whole area coming in from Mumbai, that road, and you see the developments are amazing. So a lot of real estate development. Otherwise, I think it's the development of online shopping in a way that has really moved over the past years. How easy it is to shop online today, all the online payments everywhere, and also the UPI payments that have come in was a great thing. So making people shop in a different way. So this, I think, is the big changes for me. Otherwise, many things are similar, but those maybe to drive the real estate developments, new airports, and the online shopping behavior.
Since IKEA entered the Indian market, and to where we are standing here today and maybe the next decade, do you expect Indian consumers to respond to IKEA more and more? And I mean, why do you think that? Because we are used to homes in a certain way, like we were discussing earlier, right? And there's a lot of organized, unorganized players already in the market. So why do you think Indian consumers will respond to IKEA?
We believe we come with a bit of a different perspective because we don't sell furniture only, so to speak. We sell ideas, creativity, solutions to your problems at life at home. So starting with how our range is built is that we are building it from one center, so to speak. So it's a design center in Sweden that creates the range. So all colors are matching. The greens are exactly the same in your curtain as on your sofa or on your carpet, or the red fits, matches. So it's very easy to be a designer at IKEA. You come and pick stuff together and you go home and you match it, it works. If you do that at many competitors, they have maybe bought something in China, something here or something there, and it doesn't really work. Here it's a complete range that is built together. Colors, sizes, everything matches. That together with the idea that we really try to inspire people to look at their homes with new eyes. How can I live a better life at home? Not just how can I change my sofa, but how do I create a better seating solution with the right reading light, with the right pillow, with the right straw, with the right carpet, with the right table. All of these things together is what we're trying to make people see. So it's more of a learning about life at home. So we're a little bit here to inspire and maybe educate in some cases. How can you live a better life at home? How do I store my stuff in a smarter way so I don't spend 10 minutes every day to look for my things, but rather have a wardrobe structured in a way that it fits my saris, it fits my lehengas, I have my tops, I have my wristbands, everything is organized in a way that I quickly can pick it up, take it out. So I think it's a lot about coming to an IKEA store, see, learn, and get inspired.
Okay. So do you think Indian consumers are very different from consumers of other markets and other emerging economies?
I wouldn't say very different. I think Indian consumers for sure are very value driven. So it's very important for us to show that the value for the product you have, it's not only a low price, but it has to be a good product. And hence we're working with our principle of democratic design, which has 5 areas, which each IKEA product has to have. It has to be functional. It has to be sustainably made. So what are the materials we put in there? What's the paint? What the glue? It has to be right for you and not harming, so to speak. It has to be beautiful, and it has to be affordable, and it has to have good quality. When all of those 5 principles come together, then it's an IKEA product. And this is what we have to bring to the Indian. I think here it's more relevant than in more other markets. Classically, there are many areas around the home where I think India has to learn more. We talked about lighting earlier, and I think it's traditionally it's very basic lighting here. You put a very strong light in the roof and you're happy with it. But what we try to show you then is how do you work with general light? How do you work with your mood light? How do you work with functional light? So how to create a home that really works with light in the way that you need it. So you can read at the right place, because there you have a lot of light, but at the same time it's cozy to be in the room, so you don't have the same light level everywhere. And this is one part of the home where we can educate. And I think comes to many areas where we have spent so many years in home furnishing, and we have a lot of things to share and to inspire people to see their home in a different way.
Yeah, lighting is clearly a pain point for you. So, what other localization strategies do you have for India? Because a lot of international players, when they come to India, they have to tweak their offerings and products, right? So, even if we talk about this store or other areas that you're present in India, what kind of localization have you brought in?
From the range point of view, we're curating the range for India, we can say. So globally, IKEA has about 15,000 products, and we have chosen the 7,000 best matching for Indian needs. After studying many, many homes, research and so on, we decided that these are the 7,000. Then we put them together differently in each market here, because there are different needs. Let's take a Mumbai, very small flats, where we have to go much more cubic, you have to go on the walls, you have to use things in a different way to get space. So you create space for people. And then we show the furniture in a way to solve their problems. In Delhi, you have maybe a larger flat, you can show it in a different way. Or if you go to Hyderabad, also quite big. So depending on which market it is, we put the things together differently. Most people around the world is doing the same things, to be all honest. People wake up, they go to eat breakfast, they get dressed, they go to work, they come home, they eat, and everybody's doing it. But we do it a little bit different places and a little bit different in each market. So an example could be shoe storage. In India, most people store their shoes almost outside the house, the door. It's a shoe rack outside. In Sweden, you would always store it inside the house. If you go to Portugal, where I used to work, they have the shoes on at home. So the shoe storage is in the living room, bedroom, because that's the last part before you go to bed. You take off the shoes and put them on and you go to sleep, right? If you take the washing machine, where is it sitting in the room house? In Sweden, it's always in the bathroom. In Portugal, it's always in the kitchen. In Russia, where I worked, it was somewhere because there was no space it could really be. In India, many times it's on a balcony. So all of these we've learned, and we are showing solutions to the problems where you have them in your market. So a store in India looks radically different from a store in Sweden. Not the shape and so on, but inside how we put the products together, which room do we show the function, and how do we meet the need of the consumer.
Okay. So how much is India really contributing to the global group's growth, and how do you see it evolving? I mean, what are the expectations does the group has from India?
Yeah. So India, percentage-wise, is the fastest growing market at the moment.
Okay.
But that's coming from a small base. We say, taking a long-term perspective, as always, IKEA is doing, if there's a 50-year perspective of India, India will be a very big market in maybe 20 years or so on. But there's a long time to go. And it is the market with the biggest potential. But it will take its time to get there. I mean, we've been in Germany for 60 years probably, and okay, it took time to get to where we are. So of course it will take time, but the potential is definitely here, and the willingness from IKEA to be in India is very, very good. It's a super important market.
So, we also understand IKEA as being synonymous to being very future driven. So what does the store of the future look like, and can we expect more digital formats, or especially with the advent of AI? I mean, how are you sort of imbibing that within your strategies?
So we're trying to meet the consumer in a very fresh way always, right? It's about the store experience, how we create that experience in the store, also how we meet people online and through the app and so on. So we're constantly evolving and getting better. That's no discussion. Now with what you mentioned, AI is a new way of shopping coming along. How we're going to integrate ourselves with the new platforms is something we're already discussing with these big companies and seeing how IKEA can be a part of that on an early bit. So integrating the consumer experience in a totality. Then AI at large, of course, we today have IKEA Creative, for example. If you go to our app, you scroll down a bit, you will see IKEA Creative. It's an AI-powered tool that you can photograph your home, you change your sofa to our sofa, you see how it looks. You can start with an empty flat and put in our furniture and try and make. So it's a very easy way to create a visualization of what your home could be. We see AI throughout the pipeline, of course, in finance, in HR, but also in how our contact center work. We just acquired a Bangalore startup actually called Locus. Today is the US based now, but it started in Bangalore. And that's for the last mile delivery setups. So across the pipeline, AI is coming along. But for me, I think the most important is how we can help the consumer to visualize their homes in a better and easier way so they can understand already from the beginning what they're going to get.
I think IKEA also has a very unique way of, how they position their store for consumer experience. So can you share more about that?
Well, the store is built on 60 years of experience on how to meet the customer in the best way. So it is there to both inspire you, to really, for you to feel that, wow, this could be my home. So each of the room settings that you see in an IKEA store everywhere is built on a story on someone who lives there. So it starts with that, okay, if there is a family of two, maybe they have a children that's three years old. He's a photographer, she works in a bank. Okay, that's a starting point. What kind of problems would they have? Okay, they need to do this. The 3-year-old needs to have their bed somewhere. They need to have their toys somewhere. The guy is a photographer. Where does he keep his lights? Where does he keep his cameras and so on? How do we place that? And how do we represent this with pictures? So you build a story in each room setting. So you can go in and look at each room. And you can start thinking of, who do I think live here? Is it me or is it someone else? Yeah, it's me maybe. And how can I relate to these things that are happening in there? And I think this is the big magic, to look at this room setting, understanding that there is a story and see who lives there. Then you have areas where you can see all the range. You get the width of the range. You see how different sofas, different colors and so on. And then you come into the next area of the store. You see new inspiration, new type of solution. And then again, it comes to an area where you can see the width of the range. And then there's always a market hall, we call it, where all the smaller home furnishings are available. And then it's really like a supermarket of products, but it's where you always get excited and buy too many products on the way home because the price is there and the quality, and I'll take one more.
Yeah, that definitely happens. Another interesting thing is the cafe that you have at IKEA stores. So why does a home furnishing store need an F&B space?
Yeah. So there is a saying that food is the best sofa seller. And it was discovered very early. I think day one, IKEA opened a store. The founder noticed after a while that guests left. The customers started to leave after 1 hour maybe. And he figured out that it was normally the man who was getting hungry and took his wife with him, we have to go. And they went out and they didn't come back. So already day two, it was, okay, we need to sort this out somehow. So he bought cinnamon buns, coffee in order to feed the customers to make them stay longer. And that has developed then, and today about 10% of the business is furniture, is food, it's a lot, yeah. And the restaurant is there to, in a way, to create a longer shopping visits. People can stay longer in the store. Plus that it has really become a part of the brand now. So people go to IKEA only to eat sometimes, and they want to try some Swedish food, they want to try the salmons, they want to try the meatballs from all kinds of ways, but they want to try something special. So people go to IKEA just to eat.
Okay, and your food also has some localization for Indians, and they have brought in some Swedish treats as well.
Exactly. So the idea is to create a Swedish identity by having certain Swedish classic foods like meatballs, salmon, the hot dog at the exit. This is very classic Swedish. But then, depending on the market, we bring in local foods as well. So in Hyderabad, you will have biryani. Maybe in Mumbai, you will have a vada pav. In Bangalore, you would have a fish in gravy or, a samosa. So we do different things in different stores to be relevant to the local market there. And of course, always ice cream.
Okay. I think way to an Indian's heart is definitely through their stomach. So that's a good strategy.
Yes.
We've also spoken about online channels. So how is e-commerce and within that, quick commerce influencing IKEA's strategy? And how do you see it sort of shaping the future?
So IKEA, of course, is on e-commerce as well, right? So 30% of the sales today is roughly e-commerce sales. And we believe it's going to stay there or grow slightly more. Of course, we will open a lot more physical touch points that will create accessibility. But at the same time, the collaboration between an offline and online is very important for us. The online is a convenience tool. You buy something and it's convenient. But if you don't know the brand and you don't kind of have passion or feeling for the brand, you don't buy so much. But if you've been to the IKEA store, you get a feeling for what we do with the range, the quality, you meet the co-workers, you get trust, then you buy more online. So we believe in that symbiosis of these two together very much.
Okay. And sourcing has also been a very important part of the conversation for IKEA in India. So how much are you sourcing from India? How do you see it evolving? And are you, sourcing and manufacturing for India from India? How does that work?
So India's for a long, long time, about 50 years, been an important sourcing destination for IKEA. And today we're exporting around 4,000 crores worth of goods abroad. So we export a lot more than we import, so to speak, to the Indian market. And it will probably continue like that for a foreseeable future. We see that the sourcing in India will grow, both as we expand retail in India, we will have more stores, we will sell more. So of course there will be a natural growth of the sourcing in India because of that. But we're also looking at new categories. So we're trying to make more out of wood now and see how that can develop. Because classically it's textiles, plastic and metal that has come from India. And now we want to get more into wood furniture. So if you go to the store here, you will see some mango wood products already, step stools and coffee tables that are unique for India because we're using Indian woods and not Swedish woods right now. Then we're looking at developing this a lot the coming years. We hope to double the sourcing in the coming 4 years from India. So that's a big difference.
Okay. Just one last question. What do you miss most about your home country and what do you love about India?
I think it's easier to say what I love about India than what I miss from my home country. I think I've said it before, maybe, but for me, the best with India is that most people believe tomorrow is going to be a better day. And that belief and optimism in life somehow is fantastic to be in. And I really get excited about being in this environment compared to Europe, where many times it's not as positive, right? It's more problems. Here it's, yeah, my kids will have it better than I. And most people believe that. And I think this is a genuinely very, very great environment to be in. So I'm super happy to be here.
Wow, that's great to hear. That's about it. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a great conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks.